Hey everyone. I was recently asked to speak to you about my experiences with HIV, and because I couldn't be there physically, I wanted to make this video so that way I could still share everything with you. Because, like you, I actually walk the same halls that you do, and probably for some of you, I maybe have sat in the same seat that you're in right now as well. I'm going to assume that none of you know who I am unless you're one of the teachers, but my name is Cody Hall, and I graduated from Southern Cayuga in 2005. After that, I moved to Rochester, New York, and I lived there for about 4 years until I ended up currently where I am in Roanoke, Virginia. I was never exposed to anybody living with HIV or AIDS until I was in my early 20s. It's just not something that we talked about. It never came up in conversation. I was never around anybody that I knew that was HIV positive or who was living with AIDS. So at that time, I was an openly gay man, which I did not hide, and I thought I was invincible. I thought there was no way that this could happen to me, and this is something that happens to other people who just aren't me. But apparently it can also happen to people when you just trust someone that you don't even know. So I was raped. Yes, a man can be raped, and it probably happens more than you think it does. I was actually drugged while I was at a bar, and I was taken to a hotel. While it was going on, I faded in and out of consciousness, and I only remember pieces, but it's still too much. When I came to after everything had happened, I was in the hotel room alone, and I ran. Obviously, you know that I made it out alive because I'm here telling you my story today. Alright, cut forward a couple years now. I was living in Roanoke, where I currently live, and I started to get sick what felt like probably every other week. I blamed it on everything that I possibly could. Allergies, change in season, new apartment, but little did I know that my body was already going through something called seroconversion, where literally your body is changing from being HIV negative to HIV positive. From the moment that you're infected, your body starts to go through seroconversion. I had also already gone through the asymptomatic latent phase, which is where your body presents no symptoms whatsoever. So you appear to be perfectly healthy. And then I had already started to enter the third phase, which is the acute symptomatic phase. And at this point, I started to get a cold probably every other week. I had gotten the flu. I had gotten sores in my mouth. I had started to lose weight very rapidly. And I got scared because all of a sudden I knew what was going on. But previously I never got tested because I was in that phase for a couple of years where I thought everything was fine. I knew that, I would be okay, and if I ignored it, it would just go away. And I never paid attention enough to the education to know that while I was infected, I could still not present any symptoms. And I never got tested because I didn't present any sort of symptoms that would say, hey, you're HIV positive. So, cut forward a couple more years, and here I am today, and I'm able to sit here and tell you about my story. I'm healthy, my viral load is undetectable, and my CD4 count, which is the good count, keeps going up and up and up. I take one pill a day at night before I go to bed, and every day I forget that I even take a pill until it's time for me to take it again. When my body first started to react towards the medication, I thought the medication was going to kill me. I said it's either going to be this disease or it's going to be the medication because the side effects were absolutely horrible. It lasted about 1 to 2 weeks. There was nausea, vomiting, dizziness, hallucinations, vivid dreams. You name it, I probably had it. I knew that the only chance that I had to beat this was to stick to it and, make sure that I was taking it every day when I was supposed to. And, as time went on, obviously it got better and better, and now I'm at the point where I rarely even notice that I feel any different at all. I had to start paying attention to everything that I did. I had to start watching my diet more, making sure that I disclosed my status to sexual partners, and I even disclosed my status to my family. The reaction at first was not great. I blame it on being undereducated on the topic and relying on information that they had held on to for years. That information was things that led them to believe that, I was going to die in 5 years or less. So, I mean, through self-education on their own and on my part, we all actually learned the reality of the disease as it is today. You aren't going to die. I mean, everyone's going to die eventually, but this disease isn't going to kill you as quickly as it could have in the past. And the way that things are going now, I actually have a high chance, if I take care of myself, that I'll outlive some of the classmates that I walked those halls with, the same ones that you walk every day. I just recently came out publicly, not as a gay man, but as somebody living with HIV. It's been something that's been weighing heavily on me since I was diagnosed, but also since I was diagnosed, I knew that I wanted to do something with this to help other people, to help people that could possibly be in the same situation that I was, or if I could potentially prevent someone from being in the situation that I was. A big part of that is I was recently selected to participate in a project that is going to require me to disclose my status on national television. So before this happens, I decided to go onto Facebook and let those that are close to me, that I allow to know me, let them know first. So that way they didn't have to hear about it on national television. The support that I got and the response that I got from just one Facebook post was completely overwhelming. And a lot of those people were people that I grew up with, and it was an amazing response. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen. I mean, we don't know what people are battling with every day. We don't know what they're handling and what they're dealing with that they don't let you know. And this is just one of those things that people deal with. And so when we have that stigma out there against HIV and we, shun them to the side and say, oh, somebody else I'll be here to help them, I don't need to help them, we're discriminating against them. And HIV is not a disease that discriminates against anyone. So I wanted to leave you with one more thing. People often ask me if I'm scared, and I tell them, absolutely. I'm scared of two things: spiders and snakes. I don't think that's the response that they're looking for, but it's my way of telling them that HIV doesn't scare me anymore. It's part of who I am, and it's given me opportunities now to share my story and raise awareness about this disease. And it's also made me realize that there's more out there in life, and it's made me get out there and actually live it. So I have a few questions for you. Is HIV something that you actually talk about? Do you talk to your family about it? Do you talk to your friends about it? If you answer no to any of those questions, what are you scared of?